it's about politics, and of course about Nigerian youths and all eligible voters, making it a must for them to come out to vote. They want to make it a law. And Nigerians have been reacting to this. Some are saying, yes, it's a good call. Others are saying, why must you go place that particular bill in the first place after how so many things we are battling with in the country? Let's say take a look at a country like India. Once you are voting age and you don't come out to vote, you'll be persecuted. It's a crime in India that you have a voting age, you don't come out on that day to vote. Have you ever asked yourself the reason why some civil servants choose to use the day of election for rests? They'll bring out their beverage, either their tea, they are eating their food and watching television just to hear what is going on. You get to see some youths, that's why they'll put their football competition because they want to play. They'll say, after all, we don't trust this government. Whether you vote or you do not vote, our vote don't count. However, it was possible for the market to be open on that day. You get to see our mothers and our fathers in the market doing their thing. Why some may choose to go to the farm on that day? Some are saying this is not good for our democracy. For that reason, it must be a must for them to go out there to vote. Some are saying, must you force us to go vote? Anyway, Mahala list, the video to really talk more on this particular issue. Being here in the studio, I have a very vibrant youth, like a first commentator. But so his name is quite tricky. Oye, Miye, Soye no more, isn't it? Onajomo. It's great to have you join us this morning on this show. It's been a while. After the fast, you just disappeared.
Yeah.
All right. So very close to him is Iwaike Ahmed, Alhaji Iwaike Ahmed, an educationist also. It's in the academia. It's into agriculture, into politics. In fact, it's like, you know, all wrapped up in one. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the show.
Thank you, Mr. Wixon. Good morning. And good morning, viewers at home.
Let me start off from you, Yemi. What do you feel about this bill that is before the National Assembly that is making so much wave, so much noise in Nigeria today, making it a must for everyone that is of voting age to come out and vote?
Thank you for having me. Good morning, distinguished viewers. It's a privilege being with you. I think that bill is unnecessary because those are not the most important things facing us today. The legislature proposing that bill, that voting must be a compulsory thing for all citizens of voting age. I think it is wrong. Because the most important thing, you've now even built confidence on the people to come out to vote. The electoral system, do we have confidence in the electoral system as it is today? We've seen a process whereby those in charge of managing the election, the electoral system will still be the one rigging the elections. So it's really unfortunate, and I think that's not the most important thing, folks, because I begin to ask myself, look at it for instance, who appoints the chairman of INEC? It shouldn't be the prerogative of the president to appoint the chairman of INEC, because what I'm saying is, like for instance now, I'm going to partake in an election, I'll still be the one to appoint someone that is going to conduct that election. Can I be a judge over my own case? Look at the election process. Instead of them coming up with a bill that will strengthen the electoral system of the country, you're coming with a bill to compel people to vote, as if that's the most important thing. You see the level of hunger, deprivation. You've not even built trust in the electoral system, and I think that bill is dead on arrival, because I think that bill is not going to fly, because that's not the most important thing. Because one thing here is that we have to build our electoral system. We have to build our confidence. That confidence is not there. Let's tell ourselves the truth. So many things wrong today, you understand? Because I believe that if anybody is aspiring to either electoral commission like INEC, it should be subject to a national contestation. It shouldn't be the prerogative of the president just pick someone and say, okay, fine, come on, head this commission. Like the president applies to be the president of the country. You understand? It put itself up for Nigerians to vote for him. You understand? And I think INEC needs a total reformation, because INEC is a way it's dysfunctional. Because what I'm saying this is that look at the way INEC manage election. Today people will be complaining about state electoral commission, that whenever state electoral commission manage or conduct election, is the party of that state that wins the election. But that, you understand? So if we must have a kind of an electoral system that will be just, that could meet the contemporary challenge we face in our voting system, they have to build a kind of transparency and trust of the people. Because if people have no confidence on the system, they see no reason to own the system or believe us that eagerness to go and vote. And that is what is killing us. You understand? And we have to do better in our election and management process and whatsoever. And I think it should be decentralized in a way. It could be subjected to the confirmation of National Assembly, but it should not be the prerogative of the president just speak up somebody. It should be, if you want to add that position, it should be thrown open. You need to apply. They need to vet those people. You understand? And the best candidate should be appointed, or maybe should be appointed after thorough process. It shouldn't just be that you just pick one person and send it to the National Assembly. And I think by doing so, we can improve our electoral system to bring out the functionality and the efficiency and the effectiveness in it.
Quite interesting. You've spoken at length, but I could make out from what you said is that it's dead on arrival, and you gave reasons for saying that particular, or making that particular statement. Well, Alhaji Waike, do you share his views to say that bill is dead on arrival, and he gave reasons why he's talked to that particular view of his that is not what we need right now?
I will support him, not 100%, in the sense that the bill may not die on arrival. The bill may actually escape through, because we are not there taking part in the bill process. It's just for them to say those who support ayes or those nays. Before you know it, ayes have it. Even when the nays may shout nay, the speaker will say ayes have it, and that's how it flies. If it goes to the Senate does same, it flies, and then straight away to president assent. And when president assent to the bill, it becomes a bill. But the only aspect I'm supporting him is that the execution of that law may not work. You understand? Because we have so many criminals we are here to deal with. We have a banditry issue we are focusing on. We have kidnappers we are focusing on. Systems are not working the way it's supposed to be. Then it's now voting issues you are now coming to enforce. And where are the law enforcement agency you want to use? When we have a population of close to 200 million people, and you have a law enforcement agency that is not able up to 200,000. Or let me say in summary, let's say 1 million law enforcement agents, then to go and pick up, close to, let's say 150 million citizens who refuses to vote. Because if you check the last percentage that voted in 2023 presidential election, is about 32% of the entire population, or 30%, let me, so that I will not go and quote a wrong figure, of the general population. What you are not trying to say now, about 60% of the Nigerian population refuses to vote. So how do you intend to now enforce that law, to arrest them or jail them or tell them to pay that fine? In fact, your correctional services are not even enough to absorb them. So meaning that once that bill passes through, it will just be another, House of Assembly, exercise. Their fundamental rights, they have done that, and at the end of the day, it ends there, because the enforcement will become an issue. The problem is that an average Nigerian loves to vote. An average Nigerian loves to participate. But they lost hope in this process because of the way and manner the process is being carried out. All they needed to have done in this case is to focus strictly on INEC, strengthening INEC as an institution, and make INEC to actually be independent as the name implies, so that both the presidential level, state level, local government level, we have no interference with their activities. And by so doing, giving them the strong mandate to actually deliver their job, and then empowering them to deliver their job and ensure that the vote of an average Nigeria counts, automatically that bill need not to come into an existence. Strengthening INEC alone automatically will solve the whole problem. By so doing, you will now discover that people will love to go and vote because they believe that, okay, once I come out to vote, my person that I intended to vote for, and they will do their own census and discover, yeah, the person they want to vote for actually made the day. The next election, you see them trooping out again to also defend that person again, for example, for the second tenure, and also to continue to bring in persons that they support. That they want. But it's not whereby you see that even from, how will I use the word now, from, popular opinions, and I discovered at the end of the day, the reverse is the case. When the result of the election is not read out, what do you think will be the case? They are demoralized and they are disenfranchised. At the end of the day, they choose not to go. Yes, it's your fundamental right to vote and also be voted for. But as it is right now, the process is what it is a problem. And we all love to vote. But that aspect, if you interview on that very day, if you choose to bring out your camera and people chooses to grant you interview on the street like those playing football, like those sitting on the television to watch the processes, they will tell you outright, they say, I forgo vote too. Now because I not believe, say, my vote go can't. That make me not go vote. Because if he had believed his vote we can't, he would have just gone to go and vote. But he just believe it's still the same process, the same stories, old. And that's why you check the voter party. If you check, it's declining. It's declining. If you sum up all the total vote that brought Tinubu to power and the total vote that brought Buhari to power in 2019, you will know that they are not comparable. So it's declining. Yeah. Even in those state election, the votes that brought in Obaseki and the vote that brought, if you sum them up to it, you see that it's declining. Everybody is losing interest on a daily basis. And who are they losing this interest? So it's not the politician that is voting. It's not the face of that politician. It is the umpire, the INEC, that they are losing faith on. So now bills that will be passed is on how to strengthen INEC to ensure that INEC become an institution that will be feared by all, irrespective of the political party you belong to, irrespective of who you are as a citizen. But when it comes to INEC, everybody will have to, obey status quo, and they will do their thing without looking at faces. So that is just all. So they should work on the bill and make the Electoral Act is a good one, but INEC as an institution need to be strengthened. If there's anything they can do, as I stated down, I don't have an idea of how you can strengthen INEC, but there are persons who have good ideas. Those persons should come up with the better ideas on how to strengthen INEC and ensure that INEC become an institution that everybody will have confidence on. And once you have that institution and you have confidence on it, and you see that people ordinarily troops in, a very small example. When is our commercial banks started misbehaving with their charges here and there, and these fintech companies came out to service situation, to ease tensions and the rest. My brother, even the commercial banks are already complaining the rate at which the fintechs have collected customers. I sitting down here, I decided to also choose the fintech as well, and I'm not enjoying the services. So now automatically, and did anybody force me? Even when the fintech company came out, I don't want to mention any name now, I was even skeptical. I was telling people, are you sure that this one not go close now? This one not go job with our money? For so many years, it didn't close now. When I now entered, I now regretted staying too long for joining the fintech or for opening an account with the fintech companies. Now I'm enjoying my fintech, if not because of my salary, I would have closed down my commercial banks and continue my fintech. So automatically, everybody is running into the fintech because their service delivery is superb. But now, the INEC issue, if you strengthen INEC, no, you don't need to tell an average Nigerian. They will come out and vote. Their problem is not just the Mr. A or Mr. B contest to be candid with you. 2027 right now, most of them will not have problem with Tinubu contesting or have problem with Obi contesting or whoever is going to contest. But the problem is, if I go vote now, this vote go can't. But I also agree again that Nigerians have issues too, that if your candidate did not win, does not actually mean that the process was actually maneuvered. But again, they begin to make parable that when the depth is too much in a soup, even the blind can see it. That this soup may dirty too much. You understand what I'm saying? So the same thing. So with the recurrent, attitude of the INEC, not building trust of the citizens. People have lost faith on INEC, and with that, voter apathy becomes a norm. And I am betting you honestly, if the same INEC principles and all remains for 2027, the apathy will be more reduced.
You keep saying INEC. What principle are you talking about? INEC principle, that is one causing voter apathy. How?
How, in the sense that people naturally just lost faith on INEC. Probably they are not okay, how will I say it now? They don't believe in the process, and the result that is coming out, they are not accepting it. So that is just for that. So if there's any way, like for example the issue of the IRF cases, for example, if you are saying, okay, as the result is being conducted at the poll on real time, so I think they don't even need to say collation officers start collecting, as you did unit 1, and it's transmitted. There can be a dashboard where you read all these things, collating himself. Just be collecting. As every unit is sending their results, and the dashboard is there, you just be reading it. And at the end of the day, when the last unit hits the submit button and pushes the result, you just see it totally collated, and you see this, you know who win and who lost. With that, don't you think people will have confidence on the process? Then at the end of the day, you carry a result from one polling point to another point again, called the word collation. From word collation again to another point again, the LGA collation. From another point again to the state collation, so called the state collation. If it's at the presidential level, from there you now move to the presidential collation. And through all these processes, all the cases you have seen on the tribunals are always on these processes more mainly. That the result I have here is different from what was read. What I have here is different from what was transmitted. These are just the crisis that is making people to lose faith on the electoral process. If this thing is transmitted, and actually I voted in Unit 15, and I knew Party A, Party B, Party C scored this, and in the dashboard, and I actually went there to click, and I saw that, yes, my unit, when I checked the result, okay, what I actually saw there, where I was there, is what is there. A confirm is our own, B confirm is our own. Then whatever the result comes out, you take it if your candidate lost. You won't say it was manipulated. But how in the case, okay, I voted, I saw that my party scored this, I witnessed it, probably I was even a party agent, I can't assign. And at the end of the day, I am now checking the general result later release is quite different with what I have. And somebody will tell me, if you are not comfortable with this, go to court. If you are not comfortable with this, go to court. And when I finally go to court, and one court finally discover, and one court finally read, it's still at variance again, I'm not comfortable. So you expect me to go and vote again?
All right.